Welcome to the American Dream in the Eyes of Immigrants podcast. I am your host, Heidy De La Cruz, and I am on the mission to change the narrative of immigration, one immigrant story at a time. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the American Dream in the Eyes of Immigrants podcast. I am your host, Heidy De La Cruz, and today I have a very special guest. I have Miss Noor with us, and she is going to be talking to us about her journey coming to the U.S. at the age of 12 from Yemen, but with visiting, no, not even visiting. You lived in different countries before coming to the U.S., so you're going to share a little bit about that. So welcome, Noor. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being willing to share your story and your journey. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. It's honestly my pleasure. Um, so first of all, I want to introduce myself. So my name is Noor, and I'm 21 years old. I come from a very complex background. So, as Heidi said, I'm from Yemen, and I honestly I just got my citizenship, like my U.S. citizenship, a couple of months ago.
Oh my God, congratulations. That is so exciting.
Yeah, so I made it. I made it.
Oh
Finally.
my God. You
Yeah,
got the little flag?
I do have it. I don't know what.
It's okay. When my dad became a citizen,
Yeah, I
like
have
that's
it right
the
here.
thing. Oh, it is, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if my dad still has his or my stepmom, but my husband still has his. I think I think it was like in '07. So he still has it, has it in his little desk, nice and proud. But yes, I love that. Okay, keep going.
That's funny. Um, so yeah, I mean, yeah, before that, so I moved here 8 years ago. I was 12. I had moved from Saudi Arabia. So let me rewind real quick. First of all, I was
Mhm.
born in Norway, and the reason I was born there is because my dad got a full scholarship to study like oral microbiology and stuff like that. So
Oh,
we went there, and then my parents had me and my older brother. And then like 3 years later, they wanted to like go back to Yemen, get us like into our culture and all that stuff. So, we moved back to Yemen, and then we stayed there for like 5 years, and then obviously for like political and like revolutionary reasons and stuff like that, we had to move to Saudi Arabia for like peace, opportunities, and stuff like that. So, um, honestly, the move from Yemen to Saudi Arabia was very like sad for me, kind of, because like like I haven't like I'm just kinda like I'm going into, like, a new life. I was, like,
yeah.
young, like, I was really young. I was, like,
Yeah.
16 years old, and, like, I'm leaving all my friends behind, all my family behind. Even though it's, like, it's a neighboring country, it's just, like, I knew that I it's, like, my daily life is not gonna be the same anymore. And, like, I just couldn't comprehend that in my head. Like, everyone was, like, crying and stuff, and I was like, "I can't, like, process this in my head." So, anyways, we moved, and then, new life, new demographic, everything, like, even the weather was different. 'Cause, like, in Yemen, like, it gets cold, stuff like that, but, like, in Saudi Arabia, it's just plain hot, like, all year round.
Ah.
So, yeah, like, new people and everything, I had to, like, learn new dialects, like, so that people understand, like, my dialect more, because not a lot of people understand the Yemeni dialect. So, and my mom is actually half Palestinian, and she speaks a Syrian dialect because she was born in Syria. So, like, that dialect is more, like, more understood by
Ah.
Arabs, so, like, than the Yemeni dialect. So that, like, helped me, and then I also learned the Egyptian dialect. Anyways, I'm always, like, adapting and adapting to, like, new.
Yeah.
So, I found it actually easier to make friends in Saudi Arabia than Yemen. Um, and the reason being is also a part of the Yemeni culture is very restricting on women, whether it's, like, sports, like, anything in general. Like, I'd, like, go out and, like, I wanna make friends, there's, like, literally no girls, like, it's just all boys, like, and, like, I ended up, like, in Yemen, like, I genuinely just had, like, boyfriends, like, that's it. Like, I just had guys,
Mhm.
and, like, even that was kinda, like, unacceptable, but, like, I was like, "I kinda want friends, like, what?" You know?
Yeah.
So but, like, it's just more restricted in Yemen, but, like, in Saudi Arabia, like, especially in schools and stuff like that, there's just more, like, opportunity to, like, be more friends with people, and, like, in general, it's just better. It was a better experience for me, and especially, like, with more diversity, because it wasn't like this restricted culture. Like people were like more open-minded, like diverse and
Wow.
outgoing. So yeah, we did like dance and stuff like so it was fun. Anyways, and then 5 years later, my dad just became like better at his work, and he wrote like a big paper on like oral cancer and stuff like that. And somehow it got here, and they really like liked him, and they interviewed him in Michigan and here in Philly. So that's how we ended up moving here. My dad saw that as an opportunity. Obviously, like he was freaking out. He was like really happy. He's like, finally,
Aw.
yeah, like, we were all, like, really happy because especially, like, in the Middle East or maybe, like, on the other side of the world, I don't know, like, outside of the US, America is seen as this, like, land of the dreams and, like, just, like, a huge opportunity because, to be honest, I mean, like, in the Middle East, it's very restricted, especially, like, for, like, Yemenis and Syrians and Palestinians and, like, in the Gulf, there's opportunities, but only for people in the Gulf, like, they're very discriminating against non-Gulf people. So, it was a huge opportunity, and we actually moved here at such, like, a critical time for Yemenis, like, literally a month after we moved here, they started firing Yemenis and laying them off. And, like, my friend's parents, started getting fired, they had to, like, travel out, and it was crazy. I was like, "The timing is insane."
Look at God.
So, it was definitely perfect timing for us that we moved here and, it was a more stable life, better opportunities, better education, all of that stuff.
Mm.
So, yeah, so we got here and, I'm, like, expecting, like, this American dream and whatever. Okay,
Yes.
don't get me wrong, I love living here. I love I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone to where I am today without all the opportunities here, and honestly,
Yeah.
I love I love America more than, like, any other place that I've lived, but, obviously, I got pie in the face. Like, not everything is, like, rainbows and, like, flowers, you know?
Yes. Yep.
So, I came here and I was in 8th grade. So, I was 12 years
Mhm.
old, 8th grade. And I just like it was completely different. Like this was a culture shock. Obviously, I had learned English before and stuff like that, but like it was like strictly academic. Like it was just like, like science class and like English class, but like not like and on a daily basis, like on a social level. So it took a lot from me. Like, first of all, like a lot of confidence, like to speak it fluently because I was not fluent. Like, I
Mhm,
knew
mhm.
it, but, like, I was not fluent, like, where I can get along with people and, like, make jokes and just get along,
Yeah.
friends. So, initially, like, people, like, found me, like, interesting and 'cause
Oh, of course, because you look different, you talk different, you're very pretty, so I'm sure.
but so, yeah, like, they would ask me questions and, like, there's, like, so many times where I would be like, "What's that?" Or, like, "What's this?" And they'd look at me weird, and I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm not from here, so"
Yes.
Like, they'd be, like, talking about Wawa, and I'm like, "What's Wawa?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"What?" And, like, just so many things like that, like, so many moments of just, like, them staring at me like I'm weird, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm not from here?"
Yeah.
On top of that, like, no matter, like, how many years passed by, I didn't get cultured enough because my parents are still restricting, like, in that restricting, like, mindset.
Yep,
Obviously, like,
yep.
their intention is, like, protection and, like, stuff like that. But, like, at the same time, I'm trying to, like, get cultured and, like, you know,
Adapt.
adapt, exactly, because like, I'm here right now, like, I'm not in the middle. So, like, there's so many, like, things that I have to learn, and, like, just them constantly like, this was something that was really painful, but, like, my parents genuinely did not want me to make friends here, and they just didn't want that influence on my because they didn't want, like, the influence of, like, non-Muslims or, like, non-Arabs on my life.
The Western culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I just feel like in their heads, the Western culture is, like, something that is bad, like,
Mm.
they don't really think I don't know how to explain it, but in their head, it's just that. So they just,
Yeah.
like, did not want me to, like, be close friends with people and, like, hang out with them outside of school or, like, invite them over. So, like, for, like, the longest time, I hadn't had friends, and it was very hard, like, to, like, I guess, manage, like, speaking to my
Both.
and, like,
Yeah.
like, it was kinda, like, very mentally draining and confusing also because I was young and, like,
Yeah?
also, like, 12 to 13, like, around that age for a woman, like, that's when you're going through hormonal changes and all that, so it's just, like, one after the other, like, it's just, like, multiple shocks at once, and,
Yeah.
like, it was not fun. It was not a fun experience, but I definitely learned a lot. So, first of all, I learned, like, how to, like, set my boundaries with my parents. The
Good for
second thing
you.
yeah, like, that is something that is very, very important for, in general, people, especially women, to learn. Um, like, set your boundary, like, because at the end of the day, like, when you feel burnt out and you feel all these, like, emotions of, like, you're not fulfilled or you're not happy or you're not at peace, it's because you're not, like, respecting yourself, because if you don't respect yourself, you're never gonna, like, respect your own boundaries. Who is gonna respect your boundaries?
Yeah.
You're, like, never gonna have, like, a fulfilled life, and also, like, I don't know, it's just, like, a lot of emotions, like, it was a roller coaster. It was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I did have friends in class and, like, like, we had fun, whatever, like, it was funny, and still, like, I was, like, still learning stuff, and they'd be like, "What?" Like, there's so many sayings, like, in like, slang, and
Yes.
I didn't, like, I'd be like, "What does that mean?" Like, there's one time, like, this guy was talking to me, and then he said, "No cap." I was like, "What? What cap are
Yeah.
you talking about?"
Yeah.
It was just funny. And then he was like, "Oh my god, Noor." But so many, like, moments like that, it's really funny, but, yeah, so besides that, after high school, I obviously went to college and, because my parents are very big on education and very big on, like, like
That is a common answer that I get from people either from the Middle East or, like, India and things like that, like, education is very, very like, it's up there, which
yeah.
is a difference in the United States, I will say, like, a huge difference in the United States.
Yeah, no, they take it serious.
Yeah.
It's like, not just, like, going to school, no, like, excelling at school. Not
Yes.
even like, "Oh, mediocre results."
Mediocre, yeah, no mediocre, like,
Yeah,
you
like,
have
that's
to be
not
the
even
best of the best.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and, like, like, in my head, like, there were so many, like, career paths, like, going, like, on in my head, and I'm like, "I don't know, like, what to do and this and that." And mind you, I still was struggling, like, socially, because 'cause I'm like, my parents don't want me to be friends with this, that, and I'm like, "Okay, finally, like, I'm going to college, and, like, there's just gonna be more diversity." Because also, high school was like, the high school that I went to, I used to live in the suburbs, so it was very white. Like, it was, like, 90% white.
Yeah.
And there were not, like, any Muslims, there were not any, like, Arabs in the school. Yes,
Yeah.
there's other schools that had, like, like, a more diverse demographic, but, like, my dad will not move, and I'll, like, sit there and I'll try to convince my parents, "Please, like, let's move, let's move," and, like, they just don't want to because
Yeah.
first they're like, "We're probably not gonna live here for too long." It's been 8 years! Like
Aw.
bro. And then the second thing is, like, they, like, looked at the ratings of the schools and, like, the areas and stuff, and that one was, like, the safest, but really, like, after a while of, like, me really, like, thinking about it, it wasn't safe for my social life, like, that
Mhm.
just, like, it was not safe for me, like, I genuinely, like, it was like, my mental health was starting to get really bad. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think the thing about also, like, Muslims is they don't realize, the importance of mental health. And the importance that you have to keep your kids also, like, safe mentally. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yes, like, the area was very safe, there weren't any shootings, like, none of that, no crime rates, like, none of that, and, like, the school's education system was good. But, like, there's so many other like, after I started making friends, like, when I went to college, there's so many other really good high schools where it's, like, more diverse, so, like, you can, like, find your group easily, you know? But, anyways, so that wasn't the case, but when I moved to, or when I went to college, I still commuted because obviously my parents are still restricting, so, like, you can't.
So you weren't able to, like, live in the dorms or have okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely not, like, absolutely not. So, um, when I went to college, like, I was, like, going through, like, in my head, like, what I wanted to do, so, first of all, I started with, like, business management for, like, 1 semester, and then I really was, like by the way, like, growing up, I also really liked skincare. I loved skincare.
Mhm.
So, I was like, "You know what? Let me be a dermatologist." So, I went down the pre-med, track for, like, 2 years, and my parents, like as also, by the way, like for women from the Middle East, as you grow up, they get more protective, they get more restricting, they get more, like, demanding. I don't know, like, because they have those, like, standards of, like, what a woman should be.
Hi, Heidi here. Thank you so much for listening and supporting my podcast, but most importantly, the mission. If you would like to further support this podcast, there are a few ways you can do that. You can sign up for the newsletter. You'll receive the episodes straight to your inbox every time they drop. The link is in the show notes and the show description. You can subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel. And lastly, you can donate money. That link is also in the show notes and show description. If you would like to sponsor an episode or promote your business on this show, send me an email at Heidi@HeidiDelacruz.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the episode.
All those things started to kick in. And I'm like, dude, I just like started to like make friends and like started to have like a better life. And you're just,
Aww.
like adding those layers. And oh my God, like it was just harsh. It was so harsh. But first of all, when I like the friends that I started making were like all Muslims, so like, they're approved by my parents.
Okay.
And all like from like that part of the world, I guess. And I still had friends like from different like ethnic backgrounds and stuff like that. By the way, in high school, I made friends with a lot of Hispanics. That's how
Oh,
that's how my Spanish got better too.
okay.
And same thing in college. In general, like I like to make friends with anyone. Like
Yeah.
with anyone, I'll get along with them. Like because of how much like I've moved around, I can get along with anyone. That's why I'm in sales.
There you go. Yes.
So yeah, but like at the same time, the fact that like my parents were not approving of like certain backgrounds or like non-Muslims especially, like
Yeah.
that was a really hard thing to deal with. So they couldn't like if like let's say I made a friend with someone that's non-Muslim, like I would just like not tell my parents about it, or like if they find out, like they just like have like conversations with me about it, and I'm like, it's not that deep. Like it really
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's
because like
okay.
yeah, exactly. And like they're really big on faith, but then truly like faith comes from your heart, and like you can't be controlling someone when it comes to faith. Like they have
Yeah.
like like faith has to come from them, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like, and trust me, I'm big on faith, but like you cannot be controlling me either, like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So control is like a huge huge issue. That's why I actually moved out, so I'm in my own apartment. But
Oh.
honestly, I love it now. But so I at some point, my mental health really, really, like, went downhills, like,
Mm.
because I was, like, a full-time student. I worked part-time, and, I, like, shadowed a doctor and everything, and that was around, like I was, like, 17 or 18, somewhere.
Yeah.
No, not 17, I was 18, and, like, my parents were just, like, getting worse, like, by the day. Um, so I eventually, like, broke down, and, like, I don't wanna cry right now, but
Oh.
it was really bad, but I ended up, like, getting an anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
So, the worst part about, like, like, mental health is, like, it's worse, it's low-key worse than physical like, mental abuse is worse than physical abuse because, like, physical abuse is, like, obvious. Like,
Yes.
it's obvious, like, you can see it, but, like, with mental health, like, when it comes to, like, gaslighting and emotional abuse and,
Yes.
it's all in your head and your emotions, so it's n like, you can't see it and they can't see it,
Yeah.
and, like, it's just, like it was, like, a very, like, dark mental space that I was in, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, because like, you're being gaslit, you're like I genuinely, like, got, like, by the doctor, like, he told me, like, I had an anxiety disorder, and he gave me a paper, okay?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like and my mom was there, and my parents would constantly be like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Dude, like, you took me to the doctor, like, what are you talking?"
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And, like, they would tell me things like, I'm doing it to myself, I do it to myself, and it's not anxiety disorder, that's not, like it's not a thing, that's an American thing, you know? And what baffles
Mm.
me is that like, mental health literally got started with Islam, like, Islam is what brought mental health to the world, and it's like, it baffles me that Muslims themselves are the ones that disapprove of it. these days, and I'm like, that makes no.
Mm.
But you know, in general, just like them like telling me that I was not getting mentally abused, and I'm like, I can't. Like now, I'm questioning myself. Now I have self doubt. Now, like I'm like thinking, what's wrong with me? You know?
These messages that you're telling yourself because of the verbal and
Yeah.
mental abuse.
So
Yep.
exactly. So like, and no matter how many times like I'll sit there and cry in front of them and like explain how I feel, they don't get it. And then
Yeah.
at some point, I started just like reading more, and yeah, I started reading way more, and I started like watching more videos and watching more or listening to more podcasts, and
Yeah.
I got to the level of like, um, I just really focused on, because when you're, like, at a very low level in your life, 'cause obviously, like, with my anxiety, I had to, like, stop going to school, I had to stop working, I had to stop this, and that.
Wow.
Um, like, I was just, like, home and, just, like, the mental abuse even got worse because 'cause I'm always home. And, like, it was just, like, never enough, like, coming from me was never enough, like, whatever I did was never enough, it's never.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
at some point, like, I just sat down with myself and, like, I, like, deeply self-reflected. And by the way, my parents did find me a therapist, but here's the twist. They told me to lie to her and, like, not
No.
like, they genuinely told me, like, "You can't tell her the truth, like, what do you wanna tell her?" And, like, they, like,
They
interrogate.
needed to analyze. They wanted to
Yeah.
control the narrative. They wanted to analyze what you were gonna say and control the narrative so it the you know, paint the control the narrative pretty much, yeah.
Exactly. Because, like, they wanna, like, protect themselves and, like, protect them.
Mhm.
So, yeah, obviously, like, they wanted to protect their own, image. They wanted to
Mhm.
protect
Mhm.
themselves, like, because 'cause they've heard a lot of stories of, like, like, when it comes to stuff like this, America takes it serious and, like, parents get in trouble or whatever. I don't even know what was going on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like,
Yeah.
they took it really serious, and I'm like, I don't know, I was just like a lot of thoughts were going in my head. I was like, like, this is, like, real." Like, I was, like, sitting there and I was like, "I can't, like, believe what's coming out of my parents' mouths." Because like, my entire life, I've loved my parents. I'm like, I've always seen them as, like, the best people in the world, like,
Yeah.
the people that do the right thing and this and that. And then it came to me and they just, like, I don't know, they just really, like, abused me, and, like, my mom always complained to me, by the way, like, growing up about, like, how she was being treated in the Arab culture,
Mhm.
and it was just, like, always really bad, and she would always, like, tell me, like, "Make sure you work hard on yourself, make sure you're independent, make sure you don't need anyone," and stuff like that. And then, like, as I was going through all of that, I was like, "This is what she's talking about." Like, it's
Mm.
bad.
Yeah.
And, so, obviously, like, with the therapist, like, my parents, like, would, like, make me open, like, the laptop because it was virtual,
Oh, virtual? Yeah, okay.
and they would stand right next to me, like, outside of the
Oh
frame.
my gosh. How is your relationship with your parents today?
Today, like, I honestly I'll get to that, I'll get to that.
Okay, okay, okay.
That's fine. Um, because I have a very interesting perspective on this. So,
Okay.
um, with, like, all that experience with my parents, like, obviously, I was like, "Okay, like, now that I am clear on what's going on with me and, like, what's going on in general, like, I'm not letting them abuse me or, like, manipulate my thoughts anymore, like, my feelings,
Yeah,
like, whenever they do it, I'm, like, very aware, and I sit in front of them and, like, I just kinda, like, stay silent because, like, I really read books and I took it really serious,
yeah,
with, like, human behavior and human psychology and in general, like, power and all that stuff. I read The 48 Laws of Power. It's a very popular book. It's really good. And, so those books saved my life, truly. Like,
yeah.
it's like I'm also, like, someone that, like, I love, like, intellectual stuff, I guess. Um, so after I read, like, a couple of books, I was like, they're all saying, like, the same thing. Like, most people might say, like, "Oh, like, each book is, like, sending a different message." But, like, when it comes to human psychology and, like, like, being your own person or, like, power and stuff like that, they all point to, like, literally one direction, and it's, like, literally, like, your reality is what you make it. Like, your
Yeah,
and genuinely, like, it's what you tell your mind. Like, it's genuinely all in your head. And because obviously, like, I was at the lowest point in my life, that's the only thing that I had. Like, I just had
yeah.
that. So, I genuinely just, like, relied on my mind and, like, the power of my mind. and I completely changed my life, like, 180, like, completely. But whenever, like, there's, like, manipulative things that they say or do, and obviously, like, my mom is a stay-at-home mom. She did study dentistry in Yemen, but she cannot practice that after obviously being a housewife for a long time, and also she can't work with her Yemeni degree here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
and she doesn't wanna go back to school, she doesn't wanna do all that.
Yeah.
So she's very dependent on my dad is the point. And my dad is very manipulative. So he's just like, unfortunately, like, as much as I love my dad, he has very manipulative ways of
Mhm.
dealing with people, I guess. But I had to deal with that. Oh yeah, so like whenever like they would try to like manipulate my thoughts or how I felt or like my life decisions, I would just like genuinely sit there and like take that power away from them. Because
Mhm.
genuinely with manipulators, they just you let them take your power. They don't
Yeah.
power, like you let them. Like it's either you let them or you don't let them. So at some point, like I just, like, took that power away from them completely, and obviously, like, I kind of, like, talked to them. I tried to talk to them, communicate to them, like, how I felt, and, like, also in my head, I genuinely was like, I completely understand, like, why they're acting the way they're acting. Like, they
Yeah, I wanted to say, like, I don't want anyone listening to this think that, like, your parents are bad or that, or anything like that. It's just, like, people need to understand the culture is different.
Yeah,
Their norms is different than the American norms and things like that. So I definitely wanna put that out there. Just, like, I don't want anyone to, like, think that, like, or see your parents in a bad light. And
right,
I understand because, I relate to what you're saying. It is just, like, because the culture is different, and, like, it's just that. It's just a different culture. So I don't want anyone to, like, be like, "Oh my god, her parents are horrible," and it's like,
yeah, exactly.
no, it's just different. That's what it
Exactly.
is. Yeah.
And, like, they could not understand me because they didn't go through my experience.
Correct. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And I genuinely also cannot understand them, but at least I acknowledge the fact that they have a reason for why they're acting the way they're acting. Like,
Mhm.
what's the word? Like, I validate the way that they're like, the way they feel. Like, I know that they're scared because like, it's completely different than how they lived. It's completely different. It's like a whole 180, like, on,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
everything. So, they're not used to it. They're seeing, like, this is, like, the first, like, woman in our entire family on, like, both sides, and, like, she's living a completely different life. Like, it's
So
scary.
you don't have any siblings?
I do have siblings, but they're
Oh,
all
you
grown.
do?
I'm the
They're
only
all
girl.
oh, see? Oh my god, wait. Where like, what are you the eldest or the youngest? Where are you when you're
I'm the second oldest.
the second old? Okay, so but you're the only female. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that makes even
Mhm.
like, it makes it even harder
Yes, yes, it
because
does.
like, when there's, like, because 'cause I've, like, had, like, other friends, and it's, like, it's a little easier for them because they have, like, multiple girls. It's not just, like.
Yes, it's not just her.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that you guys came because of the job opportunity that your dad got in the US, you guys were all happy and excited for him. But I know that you enjoyed your time in Saudi Arabia. I wanted to ask, like, I know you were happy for your dad, but were you looking forward to living in the US, or did you also experience that, like, man, I don't want to leave my friends here now in Saudi Arabia and then having to start all over in the US at the age of 12?
I would say both. Like, obviously, like, I was really excited. I was psyched because, like,
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia, when I still lived there, women couldn't drive. So, like,
Okay.
and, like, there wasn't a lot of, like, inclusivity for women still. Like,
Okay.
my brother would, like, go out and, like, like, he's going to a pool, and I'm like, "Can I go?" And they're like, "Oh, it's men's only." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
can I not swim?" Like, so there weren't, like, especially when we lived there. Like, now there's more, inclusivity, like, when I lived there, there wasn't. And obviously, like, whenever, like, I went out to, like, play soccer or, like, I went, like, like, public fields,
Mhm.
um, people would, like, really, really, really judge me because they're like, "Oh, it's a girl and she's playing soccer." And I'm like,
Yeah. Like,
"Uh,
it's okay.
I play soccer." Like,
Yeah.
but, so I definitely had a huge drive to move here because 'cause I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, finally, like, freedom," like, and that's one of my biggest values, like, the freedom that I get here is, like, through the roof compared,
Yeah.
like, because obviously, like, there it's, like, restricted. Here, like, you can do whatever, like, you can genuinely do whatever, and you have so many opportunities. And then, so yeah, I definitely, like, was excited to move here. And in general, like, I mean, come on, like, from there to here is a huge shift in
Yeah.
how life would turn out. So I definitely, like, was excited to move here. But obviously, like, with my friends, like, I especially, like, it took me, like, 2, 3 years to, like, really start making friends there. So,
Yeah.
like, I really, like, became close to my friends, like, the last year that I was there. And,
Mhm.
like, we're moving now, and I'm like, "Oh my god," like, fine.
Starting off.
Like, I just started settling and, like, with friends and stuff. Yeah, it was sad, like, I sobbed, like, on the last day, I was just, like, in the bathroom, and I was crying and crying and crying. I was at my friend's house, like, we were all, like, together, and I just couldn't, like, believe that that was gonna be the last time that I saw him, and that was the last time I saw him, like,
Yeah.
genuinely 8 years, and, like, thinking back, it's just, like, crazy because
So you haven't been able to visit Saudi Arabia or Yemen since you guys moved?
nope.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah. Uh
Mhm.
For a lot of different reasons. First, like, my dad had told me that, like, with your green card, like, you can't it's not the safest to travel with your green card. Um,
Yeah.
I think that was the reason. I can't really remember, but, like, I mean, to be honest, my dad just always came up with reasons, so I
Mm.
honestly think it was just excuses. But
Could be too, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well, now you're a citizen, so
right, exactly. So now I could travel whenever, and I'm
yeah.
20, so I can travel whenever.
Yeah, there you go.
But,
Awesome.
no, it was both, definitely, like, I was excited, like, to move here for, like, the opportunities, and, I also at the same time was, like, really gonna miss my friends, and I really did,
Yeah,
like, when I moved here and, like, like, with the whole pressure, like, that my parents placed on me with friends, I really missed my friends.
yeah. So what is Noor up to today?
Oh my god, a lot. So, my business I started last summer, and I really wanted to change my life around, so I was, like, looking into high income skills, and, I just didn't wanna do college anymore. I did go to college for 3 years. I didn't
Okay.
graduate yet, I still have, like, a year to go, but right now I'm taking a gap year. So, obviously, like, I moved out and it was a huge shock for my parents. They're still healing from it because it's, like, only recent.
Yeah,
And
because you in correct me if I'm wrong, but you only would move out if when you were gonna get married, right?
yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Same
Like,
thing with us.
basically
Same thing with us in the Dominican Republic. Like
really?
you yeah, you live it with your parents and then you move out once you're gonna get, married.
Yeah, so they just think that it's, like, this, like, wrong thing to do, like, to move out.
Yeah.
I genuinely would just wanted peace, like, I just, like, needed peace. Like, I this bed, I've had the best sleep in,
It's
like,
so
the best
funny.
sleep. And just, like, better meals, like, I can work out whenever, like my parents, like, restricted a lot of things, like, not just friends, like, going to the gym, just, like, being my own person. So, when I moved out, like, everything changed for me, like, I started
You're like,
going.
"Freedom."
Yeah, exactly. It was just, like, a good wave of freedom.
Yeah.
Just, like, sleeping whenever I want, waking up whenever I want. I like to wake up early, I'm very productive because I have a lot of things to do. I go to the gym, I meal prep for the week because, like, like, I'm working full time in sales. But, right before I moved out, I invested in myself, so I took, like, a sales course, a digital marketing course, and I'm just, like, in this field of, like, digital marketing and business and sales and branding. So, initially, I did digital marketing. I got my first 2 clients. It was fun. Made some money, and then, when I moved out, I started rebranding my completely my whole brand. I just, like, wanted to completely rebrand it because I was just, like, focusing on digital marketing. Like, I was a digital marketer, but I
Okay.
wanted to be my own brand. So, then I started rebranding, and honestly, like, it was all about, like, how to use your mind to create your own reality. Like, that's really
Mm.
and because, like, I genuinely I saw how much I changed, like, genuinely so much. Like, I went from, like, anxiety and, like, panic attacks and, like, being manipulated and, like, I was not confident and,
Yeah.
like, all those things and, like, not financially free, not financially independent, not, like, in general, like, when I moved out and, like, when I made that switch in my mindset,
Yep.
my life literally changed, like, from A to Z, and, like, I just, like, saw so much value in that, and I made my business from that and
Okay.
from that. So
From your experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I was like,
Mhm.
there's definitely someone out there that, like, needs to know this, like, because so many people have goals. Every single person that I have met has goals, and, like, some people are, like, burnt out and drained, and they can't achieve their goals, and, like, it's just, like, every year passes by, and they still have those same goals that they're not achieving, and I did it in a matter of a year, and so, like, I just, like and my life is changing every single day, like, it's insane
Yeah.
how many
It's a
opportunities.
progress, yeah, or a process is what I meant to say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a process. So,
Mhm.
that's, like, what my business is all about, and I launched, like, literally recently, like, 2 weeks ago, I think, but I was
Okay.
really working on my brand for, like, ever since I moved out, like, I was just really working on my values, on what I'm gonna be offering, like, everything, like, because I really wanted it to be good value. I started my YouTube channel.
Hey, okay, we can definitely add those links in the show notes and show description. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I do today, and I work in sales, and I genuinely like I am one of the top 3 salespeople there because I take my shit serious. Like, if I'm picking
Okay.
sales, Imma be the best in it.
Yes, I love that. So where can people reach out to you if they want to work with you?
So I'm on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at she's.wealthy. And I can also like put my pillar. Wait, where
Yeah,
do you?
yeah, I can add your pillar. Mhm.
Okay. And I also have my own website if you want to check everything out.
Yes, definitely, for sure. Well, Noor, thank you so much. You have been amazing. You have been so vulnerable and so honest. And thank you so much for sharing as much as you did. I really hope that this shows of a really deep insight of the American experience, right? Especially someone coming at the age of 12 when your life is already like going through like we're already going through so much at the age of 12 and then like you said, it just added layers to it. Just thank you so much for sharing that. And I pray that, lots of success in your business, which I know it will be, especially with how you said like you're the top salesperson. Like you're going to scale so fast and it's going to be amazing. And the last question that I love to ask my guests to wrap up the conversation today is what does the American dream mean to you?
The American dream for me is about freedom. And really taking because I want to say like opportunities are going to be everywhere, but you like making a decision on like really taking a decision on changing your life and like being who you want to be, like take full advantage of that. That's what the American dream is for me. Like you have the full control of like where your life ends up being. So yeah.
Yep. Yes, you do. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed talking.
Thank you for listening to Mommy Podcast.